This video will have a look at opening a child UX in a div on a parent UX, creating a new record in that child UX, so pulling information from the parent UX into the child, into the new record, and then saving that record. So here we've got a child UX. It's a data-bound UX. Now it's bound to the same tables as my parent, but that makes no difference at all. So we've got on dialog initialize, we're getting the primary keys for a parent, so that's fine. After dialog validate, we're saving the data, and then I'm just staying on the same record, so that's standard stuff. Here are the controls. They're just a number of controls. I'm data bound to a customer TBL customers tables, SQL table. Just regular data binding there. And nothing else going on here, server side. But client side, we do have some stuff going on. We've got a couple of things going on. The first, when the UX is rendered, what I want to do is go to new record. So I'll do a dialog object new record. So that will take just a tiny bit of time to go back. An AJAX callback is made, a new record is created. And so then what we're going to do is jump in here in the after AJAX callback complete. And to be really specific, we can use this function really nicely and ask what the XBasic function was that we just ran. So because you could have other things going on in this child UX. But if we just created a new record, the e.xBasic function name will come back as system:new record. So we can test for that. So if we have just entered a new record, then what we want to do is go out and grab the parent object. Now you may have this running standalone as well, so we're going to test for that. So we're going to go out and get the parent object. We're going to see if this is a child UX running in a parent object. So we're going to go and get that parent object. If the parent object does exist, then we can go ahead and do some other stuff. And the other stuff we're going to do is get a value from that parent object. We're going to grab the company value in this particular case, and then we'll take that company value and we'll do a set value into company. In this case, it's the same field name in our child UX. So we're grabbing from our parent UX, we're setting a value in our child UX, but we've got to give the new record just a tiny bit of time to complete in order for this to work. So we'll wrap this in a set timeout function. And we'll give it 300 milliseconds. Now, your mileage may vary. You may get away with less time or more time, but you'll see that it's not much time at all. So this is all running in our child UX. So all that's fine. So here's our parent UX. Again, this is based on the same table, but it makes no difference what table it's based on. And mine's running in panel cards, but again, it makes no difference. So I've got this panel card number 2 set up. I've got a static div. There's my div. It's just called my new div. I've got a header set up in here, but it makes no difference. So there's a static text field with a div in it, sitting in a panel card number 2. And here's my panel card number 1. It's got my some data in it from a table, so that's fine. And here's my button where I load my child UX and create the new record. So we'll go on and click for that one, or just click. It doesn't matter. Depends on where you're running. So in this case, we're going to open a UX component. There's my UX component that I'm going to open. Cached, I don't really think matters in this case, so we'll use a cached component. I'm going to refresh the UX when it's opened, so that's fine. And I'm opening it inside a div. And my target div is my new div, and that's what I set up. And that's all we need to do here, nothing else. Close that. And then in my particular case, I'm also going to run something else because now I've populated, now I've loaded my UX, my child UX. I've created a new record. I've populated that record, and now I'm going to switch to that particular panel card in my particular case. So I'm just setting the active panel to panel card number 2, and that's it. So let's go and run this. So here's my UX running. I'm inside panel card number 1. There's my records. And since I'm grabbing the company, so let's go and grab a company, South Bend Auto. So now what I'm going to do is click Create New Record, and that will load my UX into a div inside panel card number 2. Actually, we can go to there right now. We can see there's nothing in there right now. And so to load my UX into the div in panel card number 2, it'll execute the new record. It'll wait 300 milliseconds. It'll come in and grab South Bend Auto and fill it into the company field. There we go. So I can go back to panel card number 1. I can come back to panel card number 2. Everything's fine there. I can fill this in. And submit it. And it's a real record. Now I can go back to panel card number 1. And I can create another new record if I want. There we are. So I hope that helps. I'm not going to bother loading the components because they're kind of tied to records, but you saw the code that was loaded, and if you couldn't see it that well, or if it wasn't focused that well, just let me know, and I'll post the code as well. Thanks for having a look.